So he fronted up and spoke to the press and says he understands the frustration from the England fans, but has urged them to stick with them as they look to level the series in Brisbane.
It's a results-based job that we're in. We love our fans. We know we've got an incredible fan base who come out here and support us, and they want to see us win. We want to win. We're absolutely desperate. They're absolutely desperate. So in terms of, you know, that wavelength, we're all on the same wavelength. But we know that there'll be a lot of disappointed fans in England after that first defeat, but it's a 5-game series. We've got 4 games to go. We've lost the first one. You know, we're absolutely desperate to, you know, come home with that goal before we even started the series, which is to win the Ashes. And we'll be doing absolutely everything within our powers and using our time as best to allow us to go out there to try and achieve that goal.
That's a big difference between 2006, Goughy, because back in Adelaide, you know, that was the second test of the Ashes. England had already lost at the Gabba, and in throwing away that game, they essentially went 2-0 down with 3 to play. And, you know, they're coming up against one of the great Australian sides. Shane Warne was still playing. Glenn McGrath was still playing. Ricky Ponting was captaining. Hayden Langer. We all know the names. Gilchrist was in there as well. And you just knew that was it. That was their chance. But England have kind of been here before. They also threw away a golden opportunity at Edgbaston in 2023. They then went to Lords and they were 190 for 2. And they managed to kind of not quite throw that one away, because Australia did post a pretty decent first innings score. But, you know, they went 2-0 down in that series, and if not for the rain in Manchester, you know, they could have won that series 3-2. So, you know, it's a very different feeling after that first test defeat than what we kind of were experiencing in 2023.
But the worry is, John, and I think we got to say this as well, because when we all did our predictions, we all talked about the importance of that first test.
We did, yeah.
There is no Cummins, and I said from the start again, he ain't going to play the first 2. All these people said, oh, he's bowling full pelt. Look at him in the nets. But he ain't going to play the first 2.
You were quite strong on that.
Yeah, Hazelwood's
because most of us thought he was going to play the second one, right?
Not playing the first 2. Coming back from that injury, you have to be sure. You have to do the right amount of overs. You get the overs under your belt. It's a bit different to Mark Wood, you know. Got injured, hamstring, played in Perth, now knee. I would never have had him in it anyway for the next game anyway. But I think the importance of, go back to Perth. The importance of that game, with everything that was on the line, with the players that were missing for Australia, I think was vital. And the worry for us all, we all went with our predictions, was if we got battered in that one, the second test match at Brisbane, which is coming up, is just a bit of a lottery.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a lottery, and it does come down to the toss of the coin. It does come down to when you're going to be batting against a swinging pink ball, because it does swing. It does swing more. And Stark, we thought bowled well in Perth. His record with a pink ball is out of this world. I mean, it's amazing, his record with a pink ball. So there is obviously a concern. And if you go 2-0 down, it's the blinkers are on then, anyway, because anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. See, the thing is, if they'd won in Perth, then essentially you could have just approached
it's a freebie.
A little bit.
It's a freebie, because you get on the right end of the toss, you play good cricket, and you do the skills right, you could be 2-0 up.
Actually, that's the one where Bazball makes more sense than any other.
Absolutely.
You know, the idea that now you have to kind of go back to basics and play with a straight bat and don't drive and kind of, well, if you're playing in a day-night test, you can't really do that. You've just got to go for it. But England are going to be under so much pressure. Charlie's got in contact with us here at talkSPORT. He says, hi, lads. Where do you start with that first test? After completely bamboozling my body clock, I know that feeling, by the way. Yeah. The only good thing from that test match was I could turn off my alarm, which was going off at 1:20 in the morning. After completely bamboozling my body clock in order to stay up through the evening, I was as furious as I have ever been at anything in life.
I think that's what it is. I think it's getting up to watch it, the excitement, the build-up for this. It's a huge series, right? And everybody's looking forward to it. And we all go up that first day. I mean, I was non-stop on social media that first day. And I went in early on Australian fans, right? And did I get it back the next day 2? I went quiet I went missing for about 3 or 4 hours. But It was right. The way we played that first day, the way we come back after getting skittled, which was disappointing, the way we bowled for 2 hours was as good as I've ever seen.
Oh, mate.
But then from then on, what happened?
Well, this is what he said. I don't think anybody would have been surprised with an England loss in Perth, correct? But the mad half an hour where we lose Duckett, Root, Pope and Brooke was completely bizarre and shows a lack of discipline in the side. But hey, that's Bazball, and the benefit of Bazball is when it works, it can completely pulverise any side on any pitch.
Well, Trav Ball was better than Bazball.
Well, it was a bit, wasn't it? And that's the other thing. Jared Kimber, we might hear from this a bit later, actually. He said, there's a lot of talk about how great Mitchell Starc is in pink ball test matches. Rightly so. But have you looked at the record of Travis Head and Marnus Labuschagne in pink ball test matches? It's up there. And when you factor in, Jamie Smith has never played in a pink ball match. I mean, that actually is frightening, isn't it? Because reading Sir Alistair Cook in the Times this week, he's saying, it is as different as night and day. He's saying, look, when you're batting against a red ball, you use the seam to essentially give you some kind of clue about which way the ball's going to go. He says if you can't see the seam because it's not as easy to pick up, you're basically guessing.
And it's plain, and that's why I slightly disagree with you when you said, Bazball, it could be the way to play in day-night tests. I think sometimes the best way to defend is to attack. I get that, and I think if we get into a position, that's one of the things England try to do. They try and change momentum.
Yeah.
That's one thing they do. But suddenly the pitch, you win the toss and bat, right? Which I think whoever wins the toss will probably bat.
Yeah.
Right? You're going along, you get to tea, or whatever, whenever it gets dark, 4 hours into the game, 3 hours into the game? I can't remember.
It's midway point of the afternoon session,
so,
the middle session.
So you could be 150 for 3, right?
Yeah.
Right, 150
Take
for
that.
3 with a bit of luck. We'd have took it in the first day. I said at lunchtime I'd have took that.
Yeah.
On the first day, but I wasn't expecting to happen what did happen. 100 for 1 in the second innings lead. So you get to that, and then suddenly you played, it's flat, it's doing nothing, and then suddenly the ball starts swinging all around corners. I mean, you've got to change the way you play. It all tells you, the stats will tell you've got to change the way you play. Because you lose 1 wicket, it goes bang, 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 bang. And that's been England's biggest problem. Mm-hmm. The format they play in, Bazball, I know he hates it, but I don't think he does because I think he likes his brand, Bazball. I think he does like it. I totally disagree when he says he doesn't like that word. I think he loves it. But if you keep trying to play that, it's good if you're not losing wickets. But when you lose one and you get a new player in, you can't keep going at these bowlers because they're good bowlers. Both teams have got good bowlers. You're going to lose wickets. You're going to lose wickets.
We shall see. Look, plenty of people getting in contact with us here at talkSPORT. We're going to be continuing through until 11 o'clock. This is Goughy's Ashes on talkSPORT. We've got plenty to come here on the show.